What does it really takes to clear an interview for a premium airline, somebody like Qatar Airways?
So when you look at the JD or what is expected is you look in a certain way, your physics should be in a certain way, and
Tell us about the worst experience that you had.
there was one situation which gives me goosebumps. So it is a time when the first war happened between Israel and Palestine. We got a call and she told me that there is an emergency war-like situation near Doha, and we might have to divert the flight. I don't know what's going to happen next, and I had goosebumps. The first thing was I have to land safely.
फर्स्ट टाइम मौका मिला है मेरे को वाइफ को क्वेश्चन पूछने का, वरना तो खुद ही
चलो
ओके, हाउ डिड यू फील कि और हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ की जर्नी
वो
में
मत
क्या?
पूछो,
ओके
करो अभी।
हाँ रुकना, अभी ऐसे तो नहीं होता है स्टार्ट, थोड़ा फील आना पड़ता है उसके लिए। ठीक है, हम सेफ्टी इंस्ट्रक्शंस क्रू देते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल इग्नोर इट.
Yeah. So see, we are trained to handle any situation that happens on board. You are not. As a passenger, you are not. So we try to, keep you ready for any situation because anything can happen.
हमें ना टेक ऑफ और लैंडिंग के टाइम पे जो एयर होस्टेस या कैबिन क्रू होते हैं वो आके बोलते हैं कि आपके विंडो शेड्स ओपन कर दो. कभी कभार होता है कि नहीं करना है यार, वाई इट इज़ सो. एक मोमेंट ऐसे भी आया होगा व्हेन यू वर टॉकिंग विथ योर फैमिली वीडियो कॉल पे, योर डॉटर मस्ट हैव टोल्ड यू टू कम बैक. वो क्या मोमेंट रहा है, कैन यू टेल अस? We see cabin crew and think what glamorous life they have, traveling the world, living their dreams. But behind that smile is the hustle, sacrifice, and courage. Our today's guest, Saili Dave, proved you can be a wife, a mother, and still chase your dreams. From leaving her 2-year-old daughter in India and flying to Qatar Airways, or reinventing herself in Mrs. India World finalist. Her story is not only about flights, it's about breaking barriers and empowering women. Let's dive in. आगे बढ़ने से पहले इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर लेना सो दैट हम आपके लिए और भी ज़्यादा इंसाइटफुल और इंटरेस्टिंग एपिसोड लाते रहें. एंजॉय द शो. Thank you, Saili, for joining in and being a part of our third podcast. So let's dive in straight away. You had an incredible journey. You were a wife, you had 2-year-old daughter, and yet you chose to fly into Doha to chase your dream. From where did you got this courage?
So firstly, thank you so much, Bhavin, for calling me here today and having this conversation. I don't remember that we have such conversation at home ever, but today we have this opportunity to discuss all these things. So talking about courage, I don't know where did I derive that courage from, but when I look back at times when I actually applied for Qatar Airways, I had nothing in hand. So after COVID, I lost my job and I was trying to build something of my own, but then nothing was moving forward. And one day I was sitting at my mom's place with my sister and we were discussing what to do and how to do, go about it. She suggested me one thing. She, came up with this thing that you can apply for Qatar Airways. So for the people who don't know, my sister works with Indigo. Now she's been working for 7-8 years. So when she told me this for the first time, I was like, I laughed it out, frankly, because me being at that stage, I was 28, 29. I was a mother of a 2-year-old, as you rightly said, and I was married, and many times we have a notion about ourselves and some professions that we won't be able to do it because we are at a certain stage of our life. I had the same. So when I said that to her, she was like, she countered me back saying that, see, if you see the ad that they have put in forward, there is no mention of the age. There is nowhere mentioned that you can't be married or a mother. So why not just, apply and then see what happens?
So you get this ad on a newspaper?
No, it was not on a newspaper. It was on their website. So if you go to Qatar Airways website, there are always different vacancies which are flashing for different location, for different job roles. So we applied from there, and we had this thought in mind that even if I cleared 1 or 2 rounds of the interview, it would have been a big achievement for me. And I went ahead and did that. Also, having said that, at that point of my life, I was actually looking for my identity, and I didn't wanted to let go the opportunity that came across. मुझे ना कोई ऐसा regret नहीं चाहिए था life में कि ये opportunity आई and मैंने ली नहीं.
Correct.
And also, when I see to it from perspective of my daughter, I know that leaving her and going to Doha was the toughest part ever. But then I wanted to look at me as a person, as a mother, who not only dreamt about something but had that guts to achieve it. So that was also one perspective when I took that decision.
So एक courage factor आपको आपकी daughter
Yeah, she has always been a motivating factor in my life. Everything that I have did till now, somewhere I draw my courage, I draw my, the inner strength from her. So I attach all that to her.
Correct. So when you were obviously stages clear होते गए interview के, and when you were finally getting into that zone of selection, तब दौरान क्या हो रहा था कि were people supporting you? Were there any doubts when you told them that you are joining Qatar Airways?
Okay. So, so I have not told anyone when I applied. Only me and my sister knew that I have applied. I applied for 2 locations, Delhi and Bombay. And surprisingly, I got the invite for both the locations. But then I was like, I am not buying a ticket and going to Delhi and getting rejected. Bombay may I stay in Bombay. I'll just walk in, go, and if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen.
So this is for the interview
Yeah,
round
the
again.
interview process.
Yeah.
So I still remember I called you because I didn't knew how to, express this or explain this to you that what I have done. But then I gave you this call saying that, I've applied, I've filled this form, and you were like, which form? And I told you cabin crew. And I was like, you, for a second, you were like in a shock, like, what? Cabin crew? And then you're like, the same thing that Shivani does. I was like, yes. Like, which airline? And then you were expecting me to say Indigo or Air India, and then I shocked you back saying Qatar Airways. And it was like you countered me saying that what next? So what is the next process and how is it going? There's nothing happening. It's just the invitation, and I'll go through the interview process now. And then like, ठीक है, करते हैं. Let's see, how it goes. So yeah. So talking about the support. So when I actually got selected, that was a time when I needed the support, because during the interview process, I myself was not confident enough that I'll be selected. Frankly, I was like, nahi hoga ye. So then, with that thought, I gave the interview. I cleared all the 3 rounds, and then when actually it happened, when I got my tickets and everything, then I started to think ki ab kya, do I actually wanted to do this? Am I doing this? And if I'm doing it, then how am I doing it? Because I have a daughter, right?
Correct.
And everything in the house was somewhere revolving around me. So then I used to keep on asking you कि भाविन करे ना ये, होगा ना, कर पाएंगे ना, मैनेज हो पाएगा. And you always said कि कर लेंगे, हो जाएगा, सब मैनेज हो जाएगा. Somewhere when I was asking this question, I was also expecting कि नहीं करते हैं क्या, because I was not ready, right? But you never said that. You always said कि हो जाएगा. Even if you would have said कि maybe I would manage, I'll try, that would have also stopped me from going, frankly. But you didn't did that, and you were very confident about my decision. So of course that was a great support and a factor that pushed me to take that decision. And there was one person in my life who knew that this will happen from the first day. I applied the form and I gave the interviews, and she was like ki hoga. That's my mom. So I used to always come back to her and say ki mummy हे nahi होणार. And she was like ki why do you think in that way that it will not happen? I was like, Mom, I've been there. I've seen the people, the quality of people.
Correct.
Standing in front of me, competing with me. And that is a factor that is there in my head, because you compare yourself with other people, and when you're standing there in an interview hall, when I entered in that interview hall, I saw the people, being divided into two-way groups. So one was very young group, like 22, 23-year old, and the other was of my age but very experienced in the
Correct.
aviation industry. And then I was standing in the middle,
Hmm.
not belonging to either parts. So
Hmm.
of course I had that ki I don't know how I'm going through this and why am I putting myself in this situation. But she was very much confident. So this the people who put faith in you, or the people who keep on pushing you in the right way, I think that gives you courage somewhere, that maybe you can try this.
So maybe the support that you get from your family is one of the most important thing. I do remember I saw that interview process, and it was very mesmerizing when we see a lot of people applying for it. I saw a lot of people queuing in for the interview round. एक इतनी बड़ी लाइन लगी थी. There was one hotel in अंधेरी जहाँ पे ये इंटरव्यू हुआ था, एंड इतने लोग उस प्रोसेस में जा रहे थे, एंड उससे ये बाहर निकलना वाज अ बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट दैट आई वुड से. एंड मेरा ये बहुत मानना था, when you say कि the confidence and support that you got from the family members or from me, or when you get the opportunity, when the opportunity knocks your door, you will have to grab that opportunity because it doesn't come to your way. और ऐसा होता है ना कि कभी कभार आप निग्लेक्ट कर देते हो वो चीज़ों को कि हाँ मेरे पास आया तो है, बट आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू अचीव दैट थिंग. अगर मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, एंड आई हैड दिस थॉट इन माई माइंड कि अगर मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है ये चीज़, तो वन ऑफ माई फैमिली मेम्बर हु इज ऑलरेडी गेटिंग दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी शुड गो फॉर इट. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई थॉट कि येस, you should go for it and try achieving one or two things. At least get into a step where आप अपने आप को कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड कर सको. सो दैट वॉज वन ऑफ द फैक्टर कि जब हमने ये शुरुआत की थी करने की. सो जब आप इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस हो गया, यू वर सिलेक्टेड, यू वेंट अहेड, आपने मे बी दोहा में यू शिफ्टेड, बट देन देर वुड ऑल्सो बी अ फैक्टर कि जहाँ पे being judged for chasing your dream would be a biggest factor for you.
So see, I strongly believe that people are there to judge you. Okay. So as they rightly say that सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, right? So people are there to say, and as a woman, if you're a woman, you're being judged for everything. If you do a job, you're being judged. If you don't do a job, sit at home, you're being judged. You're being judged for what you wear. You're being judged for how you talk, how you speak, the tone of your voice, everything. So if you keep on thinking from that perspective, you will never do anything in your life. So I never let other people or society let me take my life decisions. My life decisions depend on what I think about it and how positive I am about it. I believe that if you want to take any decision in your life, you are the best person to take that, because no one knows you better than yourself. So there would be some situations in your life which your parents know. Some situations, how you dealt with them, your friends know. Some situations your husband would know, your child would know. But in all that situation, there's one common factor, that's you. So you know that how you handle each and every situation and what is the right way to do that. So if you think that this is the thing that I would be able to do, and there's nothing wrong, and I am not doing wrong to anyone, I think there's no harm in going ahead and doing that. Because if you get stuck in that loop of what society is thinking and what people are thinking about you, you would never surpass that circle, and you will always be circulating in the same situation that you're in. For me personally, the suggestions or the things said to me by my close people matter to me the most, and their opinion matter to me the most, because I know that they genuinely care for me. So these are the opinions I keep in mind when I take the decision, not the society that says
बट कभी
anything
कभी ये
about.
बैकफायर करते हैं.
It had not. So if you are truly thinking about it, if you are giving a thought every day कि अच्छा मैंने ये कर दिया है अब ये लोग ये सोचेंगे, it's going to backfire you. Not physically, maybe mentally, because you're constantly thinking about the society, you're constantly thinking about what people are thinking about me, what are other people talking about me. That should not be the thought that you have in your mind. You should be thinking what I feel about myself. Are you happy to see yourself what you're doing? If yes, do it,
In
because you
India,
will just get one opportunity, and if that opportunity also you're going to lose because of others opinion, then it's a big loss.
so in India, most of the things revolved around the society part.
Yeah.
When you say कि इतना bother नहीं करता है society, but you in a way stay in the society, you stay around people, you need people for a lot of things. Do you think कि वो भी एक factor out होना चाहिए when you take a decision?
So see, taking decision and living in a society is a completely different thing, I believe. Because a decision you take for yourself, and society comes into picture when I am going out in a society. I'm not being rude to someone, right? I'm not the person ki, this is a society and I am at the peripheral level, and these people are no one. That's not the thing that I'm talking about. We live in the society. We have to be a part of the society. When I'm going to an event, I have my friends, and I have my family. I behave accordingly, right? But that doesn't mean that it will influence my decision. Their thoughts would influence me. सुनो सबकी करो मन की, ठीक है? You take everyone's opinion. It's not that everyone is saying a wrong thing. Take each and everyone's opinion, but give it a thought and see whether that opinion is helping you or it is just given to pull you down. That is a thought you have to give to yourself all the time, because there are so many things. You have 2 years, you have to use it very wisely.
Correct.
If you really want that decision to be taken into consideration, absorb it. If you don't want or if you don't like what people are saying about you, and it's not true also, it's just a rumor, or it's just said to be said, you have the second year, just flush it out of your system. Don't keep on sitting in that thing and then thinking over and over कि अच्छा मेरे बारे में ये बोला, ये ठीक है. I mean, it's entertaining for them. There are some people in the society who thrive on talking about others, right? And they enjoy doing it. So why to take away that entertainment from them, right? Let them be entertained. Do what you want to do. Just don't. My motto is don't harm anyone, don't hurt anyone, and do your thing, and don't hurt yourself also in that process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about getting selected, then starting your job. So first 6 months, acclimatization was the biggest factor, I would believe. How was it? How did you adjust yourself in Doha? The life, the culture, the training programs that you had.
So the first time when I went to Doha, I remember you all came to drop me at the airport, and I was still thinking whether I'm going or not, frankly. But then I was like, अभी इधर तक आया तो जाना है. Then I went inside the airport, and Shivani came to drop me inside till the immigration because she has this pass, and I was supposed to tap my the boarding pass for immigration. And then I looked back at her, and she was looking back to me, and I had this thought, okay, the next step that I take forward, I'm going to be all by my own. If you see my life, or if I tell you something about my life, I've always been a very protective environment. There's always been someone who was there with me to help me, to just be there with me. I've never been alone in my life till that moment.
Supporting part.
Yeah, supporting or just being available or present. You psychologically that there's someone with you. May it be your family, your mother, your father, your sister, your husband, your in-laws, anyone. So there's someone always with you.
Correct.
But and that is a very protective environment. You are in very secured environment that you are in, and that if I need something, these people are there. But when I was stepping in that day to the other side of the world, I was like, now there is no one with me, and I am just going alone. And that hit me so strong, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know how am I going to do this. There are so many days that I have cried myself to sleep, because I was missing my family like anything. You know, from someone who has not stayed even a night or a day, you know, away from the family, cut to you're just, you know, living the country and going to a different country, relocating altogether, was a big thing for me. So yes, it was very tough when it comes to living family and going, you know, to Doha. Culturally, you know, I can't crib about culture because half of the Doha or more than half of Doha is Indians.
अच्छा,
So
वहाँ पे
if
भी हम लोग इतना ही है.
all over the world.
Correct.
But you can just walk around the street in Doha talking in Hindi and everyone knows Hindi. So I can't crib about, you know, culture sitting here because and Doha is a very, you know, warm place, a very welcoming place. You'll not feel like, you know, you're somewhere, you know, in some country where you don't know anything and something random is happening. It's a very safe place. So cultural wise, that was, you know, not that challenging for me, but yes, living, you know, away from family was a big challenge. If I talk about the training, yes, it would be the second most toughest part because as I said, I'm not from the industry. I knew nothing about the industry. So training is to the level where we are taught about the aircraft, we are taught about safety, we are taught about first aid, you're taught about everything. So, yes, it becomes difficult, and a lot of information is coming towards you, and you have to absorb all of it. Because, you know, when you are on the flight, this is the information that you carry.
Correct.
This is your, you know, the information that is going to help you in any situation. So, you can't miss out on any of the information. So, all the information that you get in your training, you have to have on the tip of your tongue. Because any emergency that happens, the smallest of the information is going to help you through that situation. You can't then step back and say, अरे मुझे याद नहीं है, you know, मुझे book में देखना पड़ेगा. Let me refer to my manual. वो नहीं होता, you know.
But,
when you
so that's what my question was. My next follow-up question was, and so I'm jumping one scenario. We are at the training part, but I'm jumping to the in-flight mode. कि whenever such situations happen, you have to be on your toes. You have to remember कि कौन सा क्या है क्या
of
है.
course,
And I do remember कि international flight में you have set menus that you have to remember. And अगर आप कुछ भी अलग menu बोल दोगे तो then there is a problem also.
So that's true. So every flight is different. Firstly, every aircraft is different, and everything is different in each flight. So let's talk about service first. So when it comes to service, then you are in a different zone. Then you are a very calm person, a very welcoming person, you know, the person who always have smile on their face and talking, you know, promptly, or, you know, in a very calm way or welcoming way, and this other person is like, you know, feeling good about it. So when you spoke about the menu, so for us, each flight had a different menu. So we have a very good catering team, so they catered us with, you know, all the food that we have. And we always, before the flight, we have a snap of the flight details. Okay, so what is the menu and how many, what is the passenger load and what kind of passengers are there. So we used to get all those details. My job is to be ready with those details when it comes to service.
Correct.
I can't go on my flight and say I don't know what's the menu today. No, that's not acceptable. I should know it. You know, when we talk about all these small things outside aviation, it is laughed about because people think यार क्या छोटी बात है, you know, चिकन मसाला की जगह पे चिकन टिक्का बोलिए कौन सी बड़ी बात है. No, it's a big thing. That's what I'm serving today, and if I'm saying a wrong thing, it gives a very wrong impression on my customer that I am not aware. I can't put my customer in that thought process कि अरे क्रू को कुछ पता नहीं है. So that is also, you know, one factor that you should know your information, you should know your stuff.
So ये जो ट्रेनिंग पीरियड के दौरान होता है, वो इतना स्ट्रांगली आपको एग्जामिन करना पड़ता है. एंड देयर इज आल्सो एग्जामिनेशन आल्सो. इफ यू डोंट क्लियर दैट, यू डोंट गेट अ चांस टू be on flight.
Of course. So training process is a long process. So we have service training and then we have safety training. So each training has a practical part of it and has a theoretical part of it. So every paper, if it is of 100 marks, the passing is 95.
95 out of 100.
Yes.
And if you don't get that, you're not clear.
No. So you at least get one attempt. For if you're passing one, there are 3 subjects, you're not passing in all the 3, ma salama shukran, go home. Okay, so that if you're just, you know, got that 1 mark less and then they might give you one chance, but it depends on the management. You have to be very serious about things. They are very serious, and you should be very serious. And this is very important also in this this industry. If you don't take things seriously from the training part, you will never be serious on the flight.
तो ऐसे
This
जस्ट
is
पास नहीं करते.
no, this is the bombardation that happens on you, that all these things are very important. It is very serious and you have to take it seriously. So you can't come back and say that यार एक ही mark तो कम था, grace mark दे दो. No, ऐसा नहीं होता. Maybe that information that you wrote wrongly and you don't know about it, you go on a flight and that information would have saved someone's life.
Correct.
Could I go there and say अरे ये ही सिर्फ मुझे चीज़ नहीं पता थी यार, मर गया वो इंसान, right? So there are so many lives in your hand. You can't be in that comfort zone कि अरे मुझे तो सिर्फ यही नहीं आता था, यही एक ट्रेनिंग में यही पार्ट मेरे से छूट गया था. No.
So if I'm not wrong, there is a checker also in the flight that continuous examination आपकी होती रहती है. What is that?
So it's not like we have checker in all the flights. So checker का काम है to keep the quality check, may it be safety, may it be service. So whenever there is a checker on a flight, their duty is to make sure that all the crew is doing the things properly. Even if it's the service flow, even if it's the safety things, everything has to be done properly because we are taught that way. And there are a list of SOPs. अगर ये ट्रे के साथ एक नैपकिन जाना है तो जाना है. So that is a level of the things that we do, the accuracy that we follow in service. There are set SOPs. You have to follow that, and it is a very taken to a very emotionless point, and you have to be emotionless about it. That you can't push कि अरे इतना ही था. No, if you give a leeway on one thing and then people take leeway on n number of things. So it's better, and that's the style of aviation. You don't get leeway on anything. May it be your grooming, may it be your service, may it be your safety, the most important part. Even if your lipstick shade is different, you would be asked upon. Now that you would think अरे क्या हो गया कौन से. No, that is the standard. That is the standard that we follow. So you have to follow it. You have signed up for a career, you're signed up for a job. I think you should take that responsibility actively, that you follow all the SOPs properly. So yeah, so we do follow all these things, and we take all these things very, very seriously, and we are given good training. So even if it's the opening of the door or closing of the door, there is the training centers which are equipped with the aircraft doors, wherein we are put into situation, we are given situation that this is so and so situation, what are you going to do in that situation. We have to act that entire thing. We have to show, of course that is artificial, but they prepare you for all these situations.
That is on the training part.
Training part, yeah. So they train you for all these things. There's a ditching training. So you wear your life jackets, and you have to jump in the water. You fear of the water, you don't fear of the water, that is secondary. You have to jump. That is a part of the training. So each and everything in the training is important and necessary, and it is training you for managing the situation that might come in future.
So I'll just ask you one more question on the training part. सबसे toughest चीज़ क्या था that you were surprised कि अरे ये भी करना पड़ेगा ट्रेनिंग में.
So toughest part, the entire training was really tough for me, frankly, because I have never been in this situations. But ditching is one thing. I was like, oh my god, because
What is
I
ditching?
can't.
What
Ditching
is
is like you have to swim. You have to. So you are taken to a place which has water in it, like a pool, but it has like good depth. Okay, so
Acha.
you wear your life jackets and you're asked to jump, to show that if in future there's a situation where you land in water, how are you going to jump? Show us. So you have to show them, and then I think that was very tough for me. I took 2-3 attempts to do that, because you have to be in that situation. If God forbid such situation happens, then what I have to do, I'll have to jump, right? So they prepare you mentally, physically, that can't be like कि ये बताया नहीं था, या फिर ये सिखाया नहीं था, ये हमने किया नहीं था. Everything is done. Opening a door is done. Jumping in the water is done. CPR is done. On the demo.
Correct.
We have the demos and we do the CPR. We do all the medical things that are taught. So the plastering thing on the hand, we practice all that because also that you don't do it every day, you forget to do it. So that's why our trainings are also repeated every 6 months, so
Okay.
that you remind all those things. Because good thing is medical emergencies don't happen every day, this situation don't happen every day, so you tend to forget. What you
Correct.
do every day is service, right?
Hmm.
You're going to the flight, you're attending the passengers, you're doing the service, you know it, right? You just know it. But safety, you have to keep on reminding, it is the most important part, and it don't happen every day, so you have to be reminded about it. So that is also one part. And we also believe in aviation is safety first. So people think that the service and everything is secondary, everything is secondary. Safety is the topmost priority that we have.
So when you're talking about the safety part, तो जब हम safety instructions crew देते हैं, most of the people ignore it.
Yeah.
इतना कोई ध्यान नहीं देता है. I have also observed it.
Hmm.
So what's so critical about it?
So see, we are trained to handle any situation that happens on board, right? But you are not. You are not. As a passenger, you are not. So we try to, keep you ready for any situation, because anything can happen. We are, in an artificial thing that human has created. We are not supposed to fly, right? We had made this aircraft. We are in a dabba which has an artificially created pressure. So this is not normal that we do. So people don't take it seriously because people had not seen anything happening और उनके साथ कुछ नहीं हुआ है. But it is a very important part of the flight duties that we have. So in the safety demo, we tell you about the exits, we tell you about the life jackets, we tell you about all the oxygen mask that drops in, because these situations might happen. Okay. Now, I have also seen situations. So the recent, the crash, the unfortunate
Ahmedabad crash.
yes, that happened.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. It broke my heart like anything. And but what it did, it created a lot of what do you say? People are scared after that. I remember when Ahmedabad crash happened, I was in India. I was on my leave in India. And on the second or third day, I was flying back to Doha. To resume
Yeah.
my duties. I was in this flight, it was an Indigo flight, and the passengers, because it was a monsoon season, normally when it's a monsoon season, the turbulence happens. Every time the turbulence was happening, I could hear the seatbelt going khach, khach, khach. That was the thing that instantly reminded, people that anything can happen. There was, this thing in mind कि अरे कुछ हो तो नहीं रहा, ये क्या हो रहा है. And everyone, literally the passenger sitting behind my seat was checking the safety card. अरे ये कौन सा aircraft है? Is it Boeing? This was a discussion happening. So that is the thought that was going on, and people are scared like anything, and they started to realize the importance of all this information, and they actually went back to the galley to ask the crew that is it Boeing, what aircraft is this. So that is there, but people should not wait for some such incidences to happen to remind them that how important all these things are.
I've also observed one thing, because we are talking in-flight experience. तो जब passengers को crew greet करता है एक smile के साथ, I have seen that thing कि लोग smile back नहीं करते हैं या wish नहीं करते हैं. Does that feel demotivating कि start of the flight ही ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, people are not responding?
So for this incident, demotivating is a very big word, frankly, because as a crew, we handle so many situations, so many rude, things that come to our way, that I have never seen, crew being sad about not being greeted, okay, on board. That love, अरे customer ने आज मुझे greet नहीं किया, इस पे कोई वो ना, what do you say, sad नहीं होता है, because we have seen worst case scenarios also.
You've been trained also for this?
Yeah, I mean, situational training is also given. But you know what? Having said that, if I'm standing and I'm greeting you, I'm welcoming you to the aircraft and saying good morning, good morning, sir, welcome on board. And then I get a reply back that good morning, how are you? Of course, that feels good. Right? Of course. So we don't expect it to happen, but it feels good. I mean, people somewhere forget that behind that uniform there is a human being. okay, and who has feelings and who feels good, who feels bad. So that is somewhere, forgotten. We have not reached to that level yet where, robots are serving. So people should be, having this thing in mind that this is also a human being who has feelings, and if I greet back just a fraction of a second, and it might make her day. So
Correct.
yeah.
Okay. When you were talking about uniform, one thing came in my mind is कि जब आपने uniform first time पहना था, for you it was a big thing.
Yeah.
How did you feel? What was that moment for you?
It so when I wore it for the first time, I think I had tears in my eyes, because this was something I never saw coming my way, and it happened. And I have a lot of love and pride towards my uniform, and I'm sure each one of the person who wears a uniform has that. There's a different pride, and there's a different respect about the uniforms that people wear. So that feeling is that out of the world, being in that uniform. I don't even have a count of how many selfies I have in my uniform. So every time I get ready in my uniform, I always click a selfie. I have huge, my heart goes out for my burgundy uniform. And we say in Doha that our hat is our crown. So we wear that with pride. So yeah, there's a lot of emotions attached to that.
Can you give us some more example on situational trainings that you went through?
So, when we are going about for the training, and specifically for the safety training, right? So, each one of us gets an opportunity to be sitting in the flight mock up. So, there is a proper door, then there is a jump seat, and then, I'm sitting in my position how I normally sit, for takeoff and landing. And then there is a situation like, what if there is a smoke outside your door, for example, right? What are you going to do? What is your plan of action? How is the flow going to happen? Then there is a flow that, I would immediately release myself. I would look outside, what is the amount of smoke or the fire which is happening outside. Immediately inform my captain, right? Because he is the captain, he needs to know everything that happens in the flight. Okay, he's the first person, because he is the commander. He knows what to do, and he would inform the people further, so that the situation don't get worsen. Okay, so that's the first thing that you have to do in such cases, and then wait for the commander to come back and tell you what to do, so that all these situations are thrown on you. So for example, if you have to do the evacuation, right? So I'm sitting for normal day, and then I have been given a command that, or from a captain, I get the command, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. So
ये स्टिमुलेशन में होता है?
yes. So it's a proper mock-up which has a door in besides me, and I have this jump seat. I'm sitting on my jump seat, strapped, and then I have my phone as well, and then I hear the command, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. So that is a command, which in you have to be starting your things, and starting to push people to evacuate out of the aircraft. So you first release yourself, you check the condition outside. That's very important. So it's a small thing, checking outside the window. If I miss that step, my trainer would be like, sit down, you've done it wrong.
So why do you check outside? Because you want to see
Yeah.
कि land है या
No. So if I've landed, okay, there are n number of doors. So different aircraft, different number of doors. Okay. So supposingly I'm sitting at L3 door today, and we have landed. I've heard the command, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. So I can't immediately just open the door. I'll have to see outside. Why? What if there's a fire? What if there's a danger? And I open the door. I create more danger, right, for the people. Then, when you open that door, there are, a different set of things that you have to follow. There are rules that you have to follow that the airlines has given to you. I'll not dive that deep in the rules and regulation, which
Correct.
it is not that, right on my part to, say all those things. But I just want to frame one thing here is the minute and the smallest information or the act that a crew is doing, it has some reason to it. It's not just to be said कि मैनुअल में लिखा है तो करना है, या फिर हमें बोला गया है तो करना. There is a big reason towards it, the act, whatever act that we are doing. So
Correct.
people should respect that
Okay.
window.
So according to you, which are the top airlines to work with for an aspiring candidate who is wanting to be a air hostess?
So, if we talk about India, I think Indigo is doing quite well,
Hmm.
and Air India is trying to be better. Yes, there are few things here and there going on, but I'm sure in next 1 or 2 years they would reach whatever their target is. If we talk internationally, I think Emirates and Qatar have it's the aim or the aspiration of every aviator out there to be in that company, because the perks, the way they behave, and the training that they give, the lifestyle that you get, the exposure that you get in those airlines is to another level. So of course, yeah.
But when you compare the domestic airlines and the international airlines, entire prospect of selection and training is altogether different.
So see, I haven't worked for a domestic airlines, but training would be different at some levels, where because each company have their own rules and regulation, so that would be different. But the entire umbrella of aviation have some basic things that you
Guidelines,
have,
yeah.
yeah, guidelines, or things that you have to be trained for,
Some
right?
mandatory part
Yeah,
which
that you
is
have
already
to
there.
be trained for, so that can't be different, that has to be same. So lifestyle wise and everything, of course it differs a lot. Salary wise it differs a lot. So when you say an international airline, you get so many destinations to go for, right? Then your salary is different, your perks are different. You have a good accommodation, your transportation is managed, everything is taken care by the company itself. So yeah, that perks are always there when you work with an international company.
one ऑब्जर्वेशन दैट आई हैव इज कि हमें ना टेक ऑफ और लैंडिंग के टाइम पे जो एयर होस्टेस या कैबिन क्रू होते हैं वो आके बोलते हैं कि आपके विंडो शेड्स ओपन कर दो. कभी कभार होता है कि नहीं करना है यार, मतलब देयर इज लॉट ऑफ सनलाइट व्हिच इज कमिंग, या मन नहीं करता है करने का,
Right.
फिर भी देन करना पड़ता है. व्हाट इज दैट मैंडेटरी पार्ट, दैट व्हाई इट इज सो?
Thank you so much for asking this question, because in my time when I was flying, and when we used to do our checks while takeoff and landing, before takeoff and landing, we have to secure our cabin, right? That everyone is having the seat belts and the window shades are up, the seats are not reclined, they are put back. So all these things are to be checked. Again, it has to be checked for some certain reasons. So when I talk about the window shades, there are two important points to this. One is situational awareness again. So when your all the windows are open, and if there is a situation of any emergency, there is again there is any smoke, or there is any fire outside, or anything that is happening outside the aircraft. So if your windows are open, the customers and the crew are in a better place to gauge it faster. Okay. So even if one window is closed, and how do you know कि उसी जगह पे कुछ हुआ है, and वही window closed था, मुझे पता ही नहीं चला, right?
Correct.
So as many more eyes you have, so more better it is being detected, faster it is being detected. So that is one perspective to it, that if all the window shades are open, you detect the danger quickly,
Correct.
and you can tell it forward to your commander faster. The second perspective to it, very important perspective, is, so if I tell you, you're sitting in a dark room and suddenly someone puts on the light, what is your reaction? You're like this, right?
Yeah.
So if all the window shades are closed, right, and something happens, and you have to open the window shade for evacuation, and or you go out to evacuate, what would be your situation? You'll not be able to adjust with the light, because you are sitting in a dark place and suddenly you're going in the light, your eyes are not able to adjust. That is one perspective, that the outside light and the inside light has to be same during takeoff and landing, so that you don't lose that fraction of a second in adjusting yourself. You will notice this, that this is during the daytime, right? About the daylight. At night, you will notice that when it is dark outside, window shades are again open, but the light is dim in the cabin. The light will never be bright during takeoff and landing if it's a night flight, for same reason, that your eyes are adjusted to the outside light. If in case evacuation happen, you don't have to adjust that, fraction of second is also important, right?
Correct. So
So,
much scientific things are involved.
yeah.
And I guess a lot of people would have not known this fact, and it's a good experience that we are hearing so much things. Now, talking about the in-flight journey, tell us about the worst experience that you had that tested your patience and strength.
So, thankfully, with God's of grace, there's not never been a medical, emergency in my flight ever. But there was one situation which I still remember and gives me goosebumps. So it is a time when the first war happened between Israel and Palestine. Okay, it was the
Okay.
first attack which started.
Which
First
recently
day.
happened.
So recently is the follow back that is happening. The first ever attack when it started.
Hmm.
I was in a flight I was flying at that time.
Okay.
So we were in flight. I was a galley. I was managing the galley, and my cart was the last cart. So near the galley. Okay. So
Okay.
we got a call from forward. So I was the one who picked up the call,
Hmm.
and it was our CSD, the head of the crew, and she told me that there is an emergency war-like situation near Doha, and we might have to divert the flight.
Oh.
And that was the first time ever I heard, all the training was, flashing in my head. I don't know what's going to happen next. And I had goosebumps. The first thing was I have to, land safely. That was the first thought in my mind at that
Correct.
moment. She was like, quickly tell your, the CS is the head of the crew in the economy, and ask her to wind up everything. We are diverting the flight and planning to land. So we were already in the flight. So I don't exactly remember which destination I was flying from, but it was a European destination. We were already 4.5 hours in the flight approaching Doha. And this call happened, and I told everyone, and we rushed back to the galley, kept everything, and secured our cabin and sat on the jump seat, and we diverted to Turkey. We were at Turkey for like 3 hours on ground. So we can't do anything about it,
Correct.
right? But we have to handle the situation. This has situation which is an unplanned situation that came our way. You have to handle it. You're trained for it.
So
So in this situation, you have to take care of your customers. Your customers can't panic. Your customers, can't be in a fear. So you have to be normal in front of them, right? So you can't be going out and showing your fear that openly. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. Everything is in control. We were continuing our service. We were, going with the trays of water, to keep them hydrated. And if there are like 10 rows, every second row the tray was getting empty. We were rushing back to the galley, again filling, again going. So think कि we have started our day so early, done the service already, now doing this on ground. Then we got the intimation, now you can go back to Doha. So after that 2.5 3 hours of all that running around, because people were asking questions and you have to be present there, right? So then all that, then we again went to Doha, taking a long route which again took us 3 hours. So of course in that 3 hours you can't be like मैं तो थक गई, you can't sit down in your jump seat and relax. Of course you have to be out there serving people. They are tired, they are stressed, they have questions, they'll press call bells, they'll ask you things. You are answerable, right? Because they are flying with Qatar Airways and you are Qatar Airways at that moment. So you are answerable to them. You are supposed to take care. So that day was the longest day of my life, I would say. When we landed in Doha, there was no life left inside us, as in any of the crew. We were that, dead in that situation. Yeah, it was the toughest day, I would say.
messed up time schedule, missing family events, irregular sleep. How did you cope up that challenge?
So, when you fall in the water, you have to swim through, right? Otherwise, you will drown. So that is one thing. Sleep schedules, I've really had hard time to cope up with that. Initially, few months, I was like, मुझे नींद आ रही है, because I've always been a person who would sleep at 11. You'll never see me awake after 11. Max to max 11:30. Even on my birthdays, I won't be awake till 12 to get
Hmm.
the wishes from Priya. In the morning, I'll be like, okay, happy birthday, thank you.
Hmm.
But I'll never be awake, late night. That has been, me. But then somewhere I would say, if I talk about the sleep schedules, my daughter has trained me for that,
अच्छा.
because when she was born, she used to not sleep at night at all. And then she used to keep me all night, so that basic training I have got from her. So I used that. But yes, it was difficult, because you're doing back to back flights, odd time flights, like you're going at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and never done this before. Being a new person in this industry, yes, it is very difficult. And any person who's coming to this industry should know that all these things come with all the glory and all the beauty of the job. This is also one of the part that it comes hand in hand with all this setup that we have. Missing family events, so major event, I think I always manage. So I used to plan my calendar accordingly, that at least I'm there for Diwali, Ganpati, my daughter's birthday. On my birthday, we used to plan a vacation, something like that. So I used to keep in mind that at least for these 3 4 events I am there.
Hmm.
But rest, small events, ad hoc events that came across, I was not there, and I couldn't be there, because it's not like a 9 to 5 job ki, Friday, Saturday, Sunday you have off.
Hmm.
You get a monthly schedule, and
Correct.
you can have 2 3 offs or 4 offs, and then you can plan going back home. But that can't happen every month, right?
Hmm.
So my family and you guys knew about it, and you were okay about it. So because you guys were okay about it, I think I was okay about it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So there could be one moment in your journey wherein you thought this entire journey is shaping me as a person. What was that moment for you?
So there's no moment per se when I talk about this perspective. The entire journey has somewhere shaped me as a person. So when I started my journey as a cabin crew, I was a mother, and I before that I was dealing with postpartum, and I've lost my confidence somewhere. So this role, this job had given me a lot of confidence. It had given me a lot of exposure. When go around the world, when you see different cultures, you see that there's so much to see and do that you have not done in life. And there are so many things that are not that important, or be culturally more aware about things. You let go your restrictions, you let yourself free about some things, right?
Hmm.
So it molds your personality, it gives you different perspectives when it comes to situation. And yeah, I mean, it had changed me a lot as a person. It had given me a lot of confidence, and a platform, a pride, I today I could be sitting here and proudly saying my story. I think it's because of this role, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it has given me a lot. Qatar and Qatar Airways, I would never shy out on saying that it had given me a lot in my life.
एक मोमेंट ऐसे भी आया होगा when you were talking with your family वीडियो कॉल पे your daughter must have told you to come back. वो क्या मोमेंट रहा है? Can you tell us?
So, see, I used to now always be away from such moments, because it affects me a lot. Even in flight, I used to never discuss my personal life. I used to avoid discussing, because this discussion triggers a lot of thought processes in your mind, that pinches on the places where you don't want the wounds to be green again. So I used to avoid this discussion. But yes, whenever I had this discussion with my daughter, or I used to talk to my daughter, and I used to see her sad, of course, no mother in the world can express how she felt when this thing happened. I used to be very sad. I used to always cry after such calls, and but tell myself somewhere and remind myself somewhere the reason why I came here. And there's one thing that I used to always tell myself, that see, now the damage is done. I've hurt my daughter, okay, or I know I've made her sad. Hurt says that I've made her sad already, right? So now if I am doing nothing and going back, I'm not justifying that sadness that I've done to her or that I've done to myself.
Hmm.
All that sadness, I have to justify that somewhere. I have to do something now. अभी हो चुका, वो कर दिया. Now she has felt sad about it, I have cried about it. अगर मैं उसके ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं करती हूँ, then it is a injustice to myself, injustice to her.
I've seen that scenario जहाँ पे ये महाराष्ट्रन टर्म में she says कधी येणार.
Yeah.
That moment is a spine chilling moment when you hear that thing, when your daughter is asking you to come and you can't come.
Yeah. You know, I'll share an incident with you on this. So I used to come every month, right? Every month I used to come back at least for 4 days. I used to manage everything. The flight has to be used to be very hectic, or I'm just landing and packing my bags and going home. I used to manage all that just to meet her, just to see her in person. But then there was one month which the roster came out and I had no leaves, and the roster came out in the evening. I was sleeping for my flight. I had a late night flight. I woke up, I saw the roster, and I didn't had any leaves, and I was crying and crying and crying that this month I'll not be able to go home. And I was so broke. I didn't knew at that moment what to do, and because that used to be that one motivation for the entire month, that I'm going home, कि 4 दिन के बाद घर जाना है, या 4 फ्लाइट के बाद आई एम गोइंग होम. सो दैट वाज द कंटिन्यूस मोटिवेशन दैट आई वाज हैविंग. दैट मंथ इट वाज नॉट देयर. एंड देन आई वाज लाइक कि अभी क्या करूँ ना. आई हैड नो ऑप्शन, फ्लाइट पे तो जाना है, राइट? सो आई गॉट रेडी, आई वेंट फॉर द फ्लाइट. And during the flight, of course, you have to be normal and everything. But during the end of the flight, there was a mother daughter traveling, okay?
Hmm.
And I was at the aft galley, and this mother comes to me and she's like, can you please take care of my daughter for a second? I'm just using my washroom. So I was like, okay. And in that moment, and she is exactly at the age Prisha was at
Hmm.
that time. And I am with her, I'm just standing, and she's playing with me. And I was inside, I was filled with so much sadness
Hmm.
that this month I'm not meeting my daughter. And then I have this girl in front of me, and I just hugged her. Because her mother was inside, right? I just hugged her. I was like, you're so cute. And I hugged her because I wanted that hug from my daughter, right? And that emotion came out in that moment, and I just hugged her and I was like, you're so cute. And when I went to the hotel that day, I did that Germany flight, I was crying like anything. I was crying like anything. I couldn't stop my emotions. But yes, these are the things that make you stronger, make you a different person. But it is very hard. I mean, having said that, it is very, very hard to be in such situation.
Did you ever felt to come back, leave everything and come back?
Many a times. So most of the time, the reason was my daughter, and I used to miss her. And when I used to be on flight, I'm flying, I'm busy, it's okay, everything is normal. But when you are in your that lavish 2 BHK, sitting all alone in the living area, and you see that passage all empty, there's no one beside you, there's no one to share anything. Those moments, you feel that, oh my god, I want to go back home. I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I doing this? All that negative thoughts, or the thought which are back of your mind, and you're pushing them back, that come to you and haunt you. So of course that happens.
आमतौर पे ना जब हम बातें सुनते हैं सोसाइटी में होते हैं तब फीमेल्स को ये बोला जाता है कि यू चूज बिटवीन योर मदरहुड एंड योर एम्बिशन. डू यू थिंक इट इज ट्रू कि ऐसी बातें होती है? हाउ डू यू रिएक्ट टू दिस थिंग?
Of course, ऐसी बातें होती है. And see, my problem here is, as your question says, society tells a woman to choose. Why are you telling someone to choose? I mean, may it be a woman, may it be a man. Especially, yes, as you mentioned, that it is always told to a woman. Women can decide for themselves, right? What they have to do and what they don't have to do. So don't tell them. And I am today sitting here, being in a different profession and then managing my family. Even I don't have a right to tell a woman that go out and do a job. It's her choice. I am just saying and promoting and advocating for, let the woman be, let her take her own decision. If she wants to sit at home, manage her family, take care, it's a big task. Okay, sitting at home and managing family, we think as कुछ है नहीं करने को, घर पे तो कुछ होता नहीं करने को. It's a myth. बहुत कुछ होता है करने के लिए. And it is a very respectful thing that women should be looked up to at. So if woman wants to choose that, let her choose. If women want to manage that and be an ambitious and go out and do different thing, let her do that. But the problem here is, don't tell her. She can take her own decision. As a woman, we have mind, we have soul, we have our brain intact. We can take our decisions, right? So don't tell.
Okay. So shifting from a stereotype mindset, now that you are back in India, you are aspiring for another journey of yours.
Yes.
So now you have reinvented yourself and getting into Mrs. India World finalist. So tell us about that journey and the experience that you're having currently.
So again, this is a completely different experience that I'm getting into. Never been into pageantry, never seen that world. But, I have participated in Elevita Mrs. India World, and I'm one of their finalists. So this feeling itself, gives me a lot of pride in it. And, for me, representing India on an international platform has always been a dream. And I would really love to be called not as Siley but India on a national platform, right? So that is one dream, to be taken ahead. And secondly, I was thinking about Mrs. India World from like 3 years. So this was, in my head, and I was dreaming about it, and I was thinking I would do it. But the first year, I couldn't, have that courage to even apply. I didn't apply for them. I was, seeing all those things that are happening, and following up on the updates and everything. But I didn't had courage to actually apply. Second year, I did apply. I cleared the interview round, the telephonic interview. After that, I took a step back कि नहीं करना है करके. या फिर I also had this thing in mind that I still have some things in Doha to manage, so let's take some more time. But this year, I finally, gathered all my courage, and I applied and I showed up. And yes, so
So what's the journey so far?
it is a mesmerizing journey. So this year it has been done by Elevita, Mrs. India World, and I must say that they are giving us best in the industry training. They are touch basing all the elements which are needed for a pageant, person to know. And not being from this industry, it has been very important and vital for me to have all these sessions. May it be fitness, may it be meditation, may it be nutrition, even manifestation. Oh my god, that class was mesmerizing. So all these things are being touch base on, and I would really appreciate them on the selection that they have done, because I have met most of the participant on the shoot day, and I would say all of them were so welcoming, so graceful, so much of talent in them, and that is what Mrs. India World is all about. So I'm sure they're going to have a very tough time selecting one of us to represent India. But all in all, it's going to be one of the best experience of my life, I'm sure.
So through this journey, what are you thriving for? What is the aim? What is the objective that you're looking at?
So first and foremost, as I mentioned, is representing India at an international platform. But there's also one thing that is very close to my heart, that is empowering more and more women around. So in today's society, as we discussed, that there are so much of things which burden a woman and which don't let them do what they can. Okay, and they're pulled back from their goals. So if I have a story, or if I have that means to voice out all these things in the society, I would definitely love to do that. I would love to join hands with different NGOs who would be working for women empowerment. There's a lot of NGOs around who actually help the women who are not blessed with the kind of things that I might have, or any other privileged woman might have. So they help them, and I really have a deep feeling for all these sisters and women out there, and would really really love to help them in their empowerment journey.
सो एक एक थोड़ा एक रैपिड फायर राउंड लेते हैं यहाँ पे, थोड़ा एक फन सेगमेंट भी आते हैं बिकॉज वी हैव गिवन लॉट ऑफ इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरीज हियर. ओके, टू स्टार्ट ऑफ विथ योर फेवरेट डेस्टिनेशन.
So I'll give you two. I can't give one. One is Milan. I really love Milan. Each corner of Milan is like photo perfect. It's like out of a movie. Even a small waterfall or something. It's like a movie. I just love that place. The other one is Kathmandu. I really, really love visiting Kathmandu. I love visiting Pashupatinath temple. I have, during I was, my time in Qatar Airways, I've been there for like four times. Each time I visited Pashupatinath temple, and the evening aarti there. You should visit that. It's if you visited Pashupatinath temple, there are four doors to that temple, right? So when the evening aarti happens, all the four doors are open, and you get to do that pradakshina, and it's one of an experience.
Okay. Most difficult passengers that you have dealt with?
Most difficult passengers are the arrogant passengers. So, because when you are in a uniform, you have to behave in a certain way. And when do you don't get that behavior in response, and the person is yelling at you, shouting at you, and it's like, okay sir, yeah, I understand, we don't that inside, you show it that you're okay, and you're giving that smile. Inside you're like, why, I mean, why are you doing this to me? So yes, I mean, these passengers are very difficult to handle.
One must have in your crew bag.
One, it can't, so many things are in the crew bag, but my lipstick, I can't go without my lipstick.
So, what are you most comfortable now in? Uniform or casual?
I can't choose between uniform and casual. Come on. Uniform is like your pride. I mean, uniform. No, no casual. Uniform.
There are certain myths and facts that people would like to know from you.
Yeah.
So, cabin crew is only to serve food.
Of course, a myth. Of course, a myth. Even after this podcast, if you feel that a cabin crew is just serving food, I can't explain more.
They get unlimited time to explore countries.
I wish, but no. Because, there is, even customers have often asked me this question that, now how many days are you going to be in the destination? There are no days, hours. We talk about hours. So maybe the maximum I've stayed in a place would be like 28 hours. But yeah, that's what you get. I mean, you have to come back also. You're not going on a vacation. Yeah.
So, that's a myth.
Yeah, of course.
Safety drill are just for formalities.
No, we take it very, very seriously, and customers should also take it very, very seriously.
So, now we are at the ending part. So, I would like to ask you one or two straightforward questions from your experience. What does it really takes to clear an interview for a premium airline or somebody like Qatar Airways?
Hmm. Hmm. So, so see, as you know that I was a fresher for this industry. I have not taken any classes to qualify the interview. So I could tell you from my experience what I thought. So when I went for the interview, as I told you that the entire hall was divided into two parts. One is experienced and one is very young, and I was not standing and belonging to any of the parts. So at that moment, I just asked myself one question is, I mean, what is the HR looking for? So I have been in HR, okay? So I've done my MBA, I've worked for 4 years in HR. So I just, thought of taking some tips from the HR side of mine. So I asked myself, what is that, that she's looking for in that 1 or 2 minute of an interview? So when you look at the JD or when you look at the job description of a cabin crew, what is expected is you look in a certain way, your physics should be in a certain way, and confidence is the key. So for me, I didn't had experience, I didn't had that age. What I can deliver today at this moment is my confidence. So I just walked in and just answered all the questions that I had with the confidence that I could portray at that moment. I still remember the interviewer. She took my interview, and then she gave me this page wherein like an invitation that you are invited tomorrow for the next round. And then I knew nothing about makeup, for let me tell you that I knew nothing about makeup. I just knew about one there's something called as foundation and compact and lipstick. So that was my knowledge about makeup when I went for Qatar Airways. So I used that only na when I went for the interview. So now this lady, I don't know, she was very helpful, and then she was like, ki, everything was good. Just put a little bit of more concealer, under your eye when you come tomorrow. And I didn't know what was concealer, frankly. I didn't know what was concealer. But I didn't show her. I was like, yeah, yeah. Oh, is it less? Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow for sure. Thank you so much for letting me know. It's not that, I could have asked her, what is a concealer? But I didn't want her to do that. Then she would know, isko galti kar diya, bula ke. You have, at some point in time, you have to show that confidence. I have Google, right? I can go back and Google it, what is a concealer. I can ask my friends. It is not necessary, to get all the information then and there. You have to be smart in this situation. What you can say, especially how you say it, is very important. Because this is what is looked in a cabin crew. If there is a situation on board and customer is talking to me, what is helping me? My confidence and the way I talk, right? The customer would just shoot anything. If he's upset on me, he's going to shoot his questions on me. It's in me how I answer those questions, and that is what exactly what they're looking for in the interview. If she can manage that stress, if she can answer in that stressful situation. So yeah, that was one thing that helped me in the interview.
So if tomorrow your daughter says she wants to be do exactly what you're doing, what would be your answer?
I would have tears in my eyes. I mean, if she is saying that I would do exactly what you have done in your life, I mean, I would have that feeling that she's looking up to me. I mean, which parent in this world would not want that? I would definitely, give her all the information and all the help that she needs. But I would never, force her to do anything that I have done ever. If she wants to do something else in life, she's all free to do. If my mom would have told me that you're not doing this, or, she would have not supported me in my decisions, I would not be doing anything that I've done today. So I would pass on that legacy to her, that I would also be that mother who is supportive, who is not putting my daughter in that cage कि अच्छा मैंने ये किया है तुम भी ये करो. No, she is very much free to whatever profession that she wants to offer.
All right. What's the final message that you want to give?
So, I know that, I've shared my story, and shared a lot of spiritual thoughts that I had. But it is very difficult for a woman to actually, achieve that. And it becomes even more difficult when you are a mother and a wife. Uh, I know that I've done that, and I know how difficult it is. But when you are chasing your dreams, and you are having a dream in first place, just remember, if you are not going to believe in your dream, no one is going to believe. Be your own cheerleaders, believe in yourself, believe in your dream, and just go for it. What you need at the moment is just that one chance, okay? And you are the one who's going to give it to yourself. So just go ahead and give that chance to yourself, and then see the matches. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siley, for sharing your journey here. I'm sure a lot of people would get inspired from this journey, and they move ahead in their journey. Thank you for joining in with Soul Talks with Bhavin. If you're a woman and holding back, you have got your inspiration today. If you are a passenger and traveling, maybe next time when you see a crew, just give it a smile. That means a lot to them. Until then, keep chasing your skies. Soul Talks with Bhavin.